Hello, welcome back again. Today, I want to briefly talk about the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19. We use these two words interchangeably, but in actual sense, there's slight similarities between the two of them. They are both respiratory diseases. They attack mainly the respiratory system, and then they go over to the circulatory system and other complementary systems of the body. So, coronavirus, the most common symptoms of coronavirus infection are a runny nose, cough, sore throat, and possibly a headache. After being exposed to the virus, people show symptoms such as fever, cough, and shortness of breath. For within 2 to 14 days, they show these symptoms, and then coronavirus is also a large family of viruses that causes illness ranging from mild to severe respiratory disease. I'll give you a little disclaimer here. I'm not an expert in this. I think you should also follow the CDC guidelines and WHO guidelines. Wear your mask, get your vaccine, get your booster shot, and wear your mask. Maintain your social distancing. And if you feel you are sick, you have any symptoms, please quarantine yourself, and so you don't infect others. It's important that we all do this. And don't forget, I'm just a random guy on YouTube. But currently we have different varieties of coronavirus, so we'll be talking more about that. Thank you. Like coronavirus, it can cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illnesses, including common cold. Moreover, it can also cause the severe acute respiratory syndrome. These are important for us to know. Then in 2019, that was like 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, yes, almost 3 years ago, a novel coronavirus began to spread from China to many other countries. And mind you, the word novel means it's an unknown type of the coronavirus. So an unknown is unknown is the word novel is used. It means that it's unknown. Okay, so now in 2019, this novel that is kind of a variant of corona virus began to spread from China. So we say specifically Wuhan, China, and to many other countries. So due to the fact that it's a novel virus, we do not know the exact origin. It could originate from anywhere, but where it was spotted, where it was active and spread, started from Wuhan, China. But we do not know where it's originated from, and they are still investigating on that, what could be the cause of it. So that is why it's still called a novel virus. We don't really actually know how it works actually, but from report and from studies and from research, they've told us how it happens and how it spreads, and we also have to follow suit and advices and recommendations being given to us by the healthcare officials and the CDC, that is the Center for Disease Control, and the WHO, that is the World Health Organization, by washing our hands, wearing our masks, getting our vaccine up to date, and boosters and all of that, just to protect ourselves, so as to be able to also protect those in the community who have certain illnesses that makes them much more vulnerable. So now there are key differences of coronavirus. We'll go and COVID-19. We use these two words interchangeably, but we will spot the similarities and the differences. So the question is, we'll also have to talk about what a coronavirus is, what is COVID-19. We'll have to do side-by-side comparison of coronavirus, and we can also do a summary of what is coronavirus. But in summary, coronavirus is a large family of viruses. That's one thing we should know. The name corona was given to the virus family, since they have a crown-like projection on their surface. So that's why it's called corona. See, because of the crown-like projection they have on their surface. So coronavirus are enveloped viruses having helicoidal shape and nucleocapsids. Helical shaped nucleocapsids. These viruses infect the respiratory tract of mammals, including human. Human, we're part of mammals, and we also have monkeys and other, but humans, we are mammals. We have other animals also. There are mammals as well. People of all ages are susceptible to this virus, but there are people who are at higher risk. According to the CDC and WHO, there are people who are at the higher risk, but everyone of all ages we are all susceptible to this virus. They can also affect the gut of mammals. The virus, this type of virus can also affect the gut of mammals. So the common symptoms of coronavirus infection, like I said earlier, runny nose, cough, sore throat, and possibly headache, like I mentioned before. So there are different types of coronaviruses. According to records, there are 6 different types of human coronaviruses. But we'll just do your own due diligence so that you can know much more about it. I'm not an expert, so you can visit CDC website, cdc.gov, WHO website, and go there and get accurate information on this. But I'm just trying to tell you from my own simple understanding of what this is, from reading articles from the CDC and the guidelines and WHO directives. So generally, coronavirus can be transmitted from animals to humans. It can also go vice versa, humans to animals. We'll have to also know that one too, because they are mammals. Remember, it attacks mainly mammals. It affects the respiratory tracts of mammals, including humans. So not just from animals to human, but it also, can also go vice versa. When people have weakened immune system, this virus spreads from person to person through droplets carrying the virus. So which is why CDC advised us to stay about 6 feet apart. The droplets have certain distance they can travel before they can drop, and that's why they tell us use a hand sanitizer, wash your hand if you touch any surface and all of that. That's why they tell us to do all of that. That's why they tell us wear a face shield, face masks, due to the distance the virus can travel. And it's a droplet, it's airborne. It can be transmitted airborne. It's have different ways. So they're still unraveling on its modes of transmission. And also, don't forget that this virus also can mutate when it's in the body of an organism and a host. It can mutate to other form. That means it can multiply its DNA to restructure to fit into the certain environment it found itself. And that is why we have different variants now of the coronavirus. We have the the regular one, we know they call it the Alpha, we have the Delta, we have the Omicron now, which was found in South Africa. We had the Delta, which was found in India or thereabout, and now we have the Demicron, which is a mutation, a combination of the Omicron and the Delta variant. So the virus mutates, in body of host, which is why they advise everyone to get vaccinated, wear face shield, covering, a lot of that, washing our hands is important, and eating certain things that will help boost our immune system. Therefore, touching or shaking hands with an infected person, making contact with objects having the virus, etc., can cause the spread of this virus. So now another question I have to ask is, what is COVID-19? Well, my own definition, I might be right, I might be wrong. Remember, I said I'm just a random guy on YouTube. I expect you to do your own due diligence. The resources are there on CDC website, WHO website. Visit there, follow directives. I'm following the directives, but I'm just here. I just want to make a quick little video just to encourage one or two persons who might be wondering what's the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19. So the question now is, what is COVID-19? My answer is this: don't quote me. Read your textbook and visit CDC. There are so many resources. Don't forget what I said. But my definition of COVID-19 is, it is a novel coronavirus. Don't forget what I said about the word novel. Novel is an unknown. We are still trying to know about it. So it's a type of coronavirus. Okay? It's a type of virus in the coronavirus family that is unknown, though it was first spotted in 2019, which gave it the name COVID-19. But my definition of COVID-19 is a novel coronavirus. But you can do your own due diligence by making research and with available materials, and then you can then know what to say. That is the difference between the two of them. But I know there is a difference between coronavirus and COVID-19. They're not really that much difference. Like I said, the coronavirus is the name of the virus family. You understand? Coronavirus is a large family of viruses. The word corona was given to the virus family since they have the crown-like projections on their surface. And also don't forget that I said that coronaviruses are they are enveloped viruses that are having helical shaped nucleocapsids. So we should also look into this and know how they transmit, and know how. We all have to know this. At this point in time, we have to trust the science, and by trusting the science, we have to follow the directives which they are given. You might have a different opinion, which is fine, but then don't quote me. Go to CDC website and find out for yourself. I'm just giving my own humble submission of what I feel the difference is. I might be right, I might be wrong, which is why I advised, do your own due diligence. So it's important that we all do this. So also, there are two differences. There are two viruses are different from each other. Don't forget that. When you have two viruses, they are different from each other. One, don't forget that I said one is a family, but in there, it's COVID-19 is a novel coronavirus. So it's still part of coronavirus family, but is COVID-19. So we'll still get to unraveling much more about that. So remember, the COVID-19, it began spreading among people in December of 2019. So it was initially reported in the city of Wuhan, China. So and then it was reported outside China in Thailand and Japan. Hence, it is considered as a global problem now. Remember, it started as an epidemic, now it's now a pandemic. You understand? So it's something that became a health challenge to a particular population, a particular country. Now it traveled to another country, then traveled to another continent, other continents. So now that's what makes it a pandemic. So it's now a global problem. And the highest number of infected persons and deaths were initially reported from China, but now globally data are coming in. We can't just say this is the highest number right now, because we have different variants. The hospitalization rate is increasing, and so I don't really have that data on which country has the highest, but I know globally people have lost their life to this virus. I know that for sure, but I don't have the data. So that's why I said visit CDC website, WHO, and do your own due diligence. So, and also after being exposed to this virus, remember I said people show symptoms such as fever, cough, shortness of breath within 2 to 14 days. We have to know this. Don't also forget that I said this virus spreads, COVID-19 spreads through the droplets released into the air and between people who are in close contact with each other. Therefore, it is necessary to wash our hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or with alcohol, and with alcohol, hand sanitizer, or different type of hand sanitizer that is recommended frequently. We also need to wear our masks properly, covering the nose and the mouth area. It's important. Now, another question we should also look at is, what are the similarities between coronavirus and COVID-19? We should know that. We also need to know what are the differences. What is the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19? Don't forget that I said coronavirus is a large family of viruses that can cause illness ranging from mild to severe respiratory diseases. It can also cause mild to severe respiratory illness or diseases. And illness is different from a disease, but it could also cause respiratory diseases, and could also cause respiratory illnesses. You have to know that mild to severe. Don't forget that. So currently it has become a major health threat in the world. So you can make reference to WHO, World Health Organization. You can make reference to Center for Disease Control, cdc.gov. You can make reference there. Go there, do your own due diligence. I'm not an expert. I don't represent any entity or government entity. I'm just giving my own simple and humble submission of my own understanding. You might have a different understanding of what these viruses are. Their shape, or the molecular microscopic shape or molecular structures are different, but they are similar. They have similar traits, similar DNAs, but the structures are different because they all come from the same family, but they are not all the same. They act differently. They attack the immune system differently. They might have similar symptoms, but in deep, there are a lot more similarities and differences that we should also consider. Like most people would say at some CDC website, on CDC website it says also diarrhea is also a symptom. Okay, we should also put that into consideration. There are so many, even it could attack the cardiovascular system, the heart. It can cause blood clots in the heart. So that is why it's important we wear our mask. It's very, very important. You might not agree with me, but it's important. Get your vaccine record up to date and wear your mask. It is very, very, very important. A lot of people might not agree with me. I know that for sure, but it is important. Now, with the Delta variant, which came and became very, very, very serious, they call that a virus of concern. And then the Omicron came again. Now, it also was called a virus of concern because they looked at the scientists, the experts, they look at the structures, how it attacks, how it operates, and they were able to come to this conclusion. Also, now we have the Demicron, which is a combination of these two. It is important. So now there are so many ways we can help ourselves, by eating healthy. Now, we can talk about washing our hands, getting vaccinated, and wearing our face masks, but if we also neglect the fact that our body cells units needs healthy, adequate food. Now, if we can get that done by eating healthy, making sure we wash our fruits, wash our vegetables clean, cook, boil them, cook our food adequately, prepare them in a clean environment, make sure also our environment is clean by keeping our restrooms clean, washing the commode seaters in our restroom, keeping our kitchen clean, keeping our refrigerator clean, where we keep our food, keeping the microwave, making sure we clean them often is important. Make sure we wash our clothes. It's important as well. We can't neglect all these little hygienic things. These things are very, very important. Now, we can do that. We can also make sure we our air conditioner, the vent or the air filter, make sure we clean them, we change them. These are important because when the air conditioner or the heater, it releases air, it comes out and we have to breathe in and breathe out. That. So we have to make sure that those are clean. We can do a whole lot to help ourselves. This is very important. A lot of people have an opinion as to how to better prepare and do this. Yes, while you're doing that, make sure you do the necessary. Make sure you follow those guidelines the CDC gave. It is important. Now they've reduced the quarantine days requirements from 14 to 10 or to 5, depending on how serious it is. The symptoms are. So now they've put that. I think also we should also adhere to that. All those are important. Another thing we should also bear in mind is we have to make sure that we check up on our loved ones, our family, our friends. It's important. Check up on them, give them support, whichever way necessary, give them the support necessary. It is important. We should also check on do our physical, check our body, make sure our calories, watch what we eat, watch what we drink, and make sure we do what is necessary. We should also encourage our peers to adhere, even by being our brothers and sisters keeper, by watching out for them, looking out for them. If there's something they're not doing right, call them, give them that advice, explain to them, see, this is to save life, I understand people have concerns when it comes to freedom, their freedom and all of that. That is okay. You're allowed to have those concerns. But also while you're doing that, I will advise that you also see how best you can take those advice being put out on the website of the CDC, those directives. We can see how we can, take them and shape them and mold them to be able to fit into our idea of freedom. You understand? There are many things we can do. We should also make sure we get enough sleep, make our time to rest. Stress is also something that we also need to consider. Stress. It is important that we consider stresses and how to manage our stress. Make sure we do a whole lot of things that will actually help us. There are a lot of things I can tell us a few, but I think it's best you advise yourself. It's important because where I come from, they say the best advice is the advice one gives to themselves. So I think it's better you advise yourself, which is why I say do your own due diligence. It's important. Don't forget, like I said, I am just a random guy on YouTube, on the internet, just making videos and talking about my certain thoughts that I could share and with people, because I believe people have to advise themselves. I'm not here to advise anyone. I'm just here to make my suggestion. Then people will have, and people will now decide for themselves what they feel is best for themselves. That is why I see it. That is one way I say this, and one way I think that we should be able to do it. There are other things as well we can do. Those things are important. There are a whole lot of things we can do. So for now, we can, we can do a whole lot. Trust me, we can do a whole lot. So let us not forget that we are part of one big family, which is the human race. Let's learn to show love to one another in this pandemic. We'll all get through this. We'll all survive it. It will be a thing of the past. Let's follow all the guidelines as being given. Let's do the needful, do what is actually right or sensibly right. And I think when we do all of this, we will, be very happy with ourselves, for making, doing the right thing and, making the best or taking the best decision. And then by so doing, we will be happy. We will be very happy. Trust me, we will be happy. And there are other things I think we should also consider. There are other things. If we can, consider that those things as being vital. So if we can consider those things to be appropriate, we can help ourselves. Like my people in Africa, we have to help ourselves. My people here will have to help ourselves by washing our hands, wearing our face masks, following the health safety measures as tabled down by the CDC, WHO. Those things are important. So if we do all that, I believe we'll all get through and we'll all be safe. The most important thing is for us to be safe and we can survive. I believe we will survive this. We'll survive the flu, pandemic, and then we'll still the Spanish flu pandemic. We'll still survive this one. So for now, I really want to thank everyone who have listened to this video. If you can take some time out to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you leave me a comment there, I would respond to you. It says important. Subscribing and liking the video is important. And then for now, I will say thank you, and I remember humble self. For now, have a good one, and I will come back again with another video. Thank you.